What are the 3 most expensive things for a rental property owner? These are just in my experience, but I think these are the 3 easily most costly things. At least I've had all of these things happen, so I know how expensive they can be. 3 things. Number 1, the condition of the property. If you have any major systems, roof, plumbing, all that stuff break, it's expensive. But even too, it can be the smaller items too. It may not be a big thing, but if you have constant maintenance, then it's going to kill off your cash flow. One of the most expensive things that happened to me was an $8,000 turnover with a tenant, which will lead me to point number 2. And it was nothing in that turnover was a huge item, but all of those little items, which were critical, led up to $8,000. And that killed it completely negated my cash flow for however long. Like if I'm making a couple $100 a month and then I have an $8,000 turnover, not helpful. Most expensive thing number 2, speaking of that turnover, bad tenants. Bad tenants, aside from costing you insanity, they can cost you in repairs, they can cost you in damage, they can cost you in non-payment, they can cost you in, well, vacancy, also non-payment, vacancy, eviction costs, which costs vary between different states. The reason I had an $8,000 turnover was because of bad tenants who didn't take care of my property. So that was solely because they didn't take care of the property. So you want good tenants who are going to help take care of your property, because that leads into the maintenance and avoiding eviction and vacancy and all that kind of stuff. The number 3 most expensive thing as a rental property owner, and this may not apply to everybody, is bad property managers. If you landlord your property yourself, you can ignore this. But if you have a property manager, which I do on most of my properties, that person can literally make or break your investment, because with a bad property manager, they may not be taking care of the house, which ultimately those repairs will fall on you. They may place bad tenants. I had a bad property manager place a bad tenant who cost me a $25,000 rehab. Granted, insurance covered it, so that was nice. I actually kind of got a free rehab after that. But the point being, they can do a lot of damage. So the property manager, aside from mismanaging money and all that kind of stuff, they kind of hold the fate of your property in their hands. And that's not to scare you away from it. I still use them. But with all of these things, you want to be really diligent to make sure those components are still functioning as they should. You want to get the property inspection before you buy it to confirm exactly the status of the property. You want to really vet your tenants. If you invest in the slummiest properties and you're just going to get slummy tenants, well, that could be expensive. So nicer properties, you might be able to get nicer tenants. There's different mitigations. And then property managers, got to keep your eye on them, and you have to be willing to fire one if they're not performing properly and get a new one. So hopefully just knowing those 3 major expense points will help you keep your rental property functioning at capacity.